17th, 2017, 7:06 p.m. And this might be the last live stream for a while that you see with the banner that I'm currently running on. Just because I decided to, for at least for now, take a break hosting Selkirk Mohawk. I just can't. I'm just not inspired to host. I'm just not inspired. Basically all I want to do is follow signals and hopefully see enough traffic and maybe dispatch someplace who needs it. I've actually reached out to a couple places tonight. Actually, two people who I still stay in contact with, and who I consider friends in the hobby, and they are running servers now. One's running California, and that's Mike, who formerly hosts the California server. And I was surprised to see Scott Martin's is actually hosting a server too. He talked about doing it, and he's I don't know when he put it up. Sometime in July, I take it. So, good for him. That's cool. But as far as my run with hosting, I was having one person come on. It wasn't about that. Honestly, if I really was truly enjoying it, it'd be fine. But I mean, I'm still trying to digest what exactly is happening with me, or what I'm feeling, because I'm not sure. Right now, the RTS Wiki is quite dead compared to, let's say, and this is okay. I couldn't care less about this. It'll still be here. No, and I see this post is already, and wow, that was a response. Just when I had 3 messages. Oh, well, 3 of them were from me. Oh, jeez. That's pretty bad when you start replying to yourself, but I did. Okay. No, I'm going to try from the client side of things for a little while, just to see, whatever's going to register my passion again, or at least perhaps it will get me inspired to do other things. I'm not sure. I don't know if I was trying to talk myself out of this or not. Or sorry, no, not talk myself out of this. I certainly wasn't trying to talk myself out of this. I think I was trying to prep myself up to say it didn't matter if I was just hosting one person, who was very dedicated, by the way. I always had one client who was there all the time, and it's like I can go right here, go back into the threads here, see what was going on here. And Jerry's been on, and I replied to him, and he was my loyal user who would come on all the time. Now I take it, yeah, with him being retired, he had a lot of time, so that was cool. Had I been letting down more people, I probably would been more reluctant to do this. But considering that I'm only letting Jerry down, maybe, Chris has been around for a little bit. There are others as well who come in from time to time. I started thinking about it, and I was like, and it's not Selkirk Mohawk's fault either. Selkirk Mohawk is what it is. Unfortunately, it's, I don't know. We really I downsized the hell out of that thing to get the switchers to work. It was crazy because I had all the switchers in, and then the hump was there, and I thought, yeah, I could get that into there. There's a lot of things that are bothering me right now about Run 8, quite frankly. And it's this isn't a knock against. I want to make sure I'm understood correctly on this here. That I'm not sour grapes or against. Run8's doing whatever Run8 wants to do because it's their company. They can do whatever they want. And I just haven't felt, at least at this point, certainly not the necessity to purchase 2 copies of a bunch of routes, because number one, if I ever put a 24/7 server up again, which I wouldn't, the only way I'd put a 24/7 server up again would be if there was a huge demand. And I don't think there is. I think that is not the case. Now, and that's no disrespect to Mike's server, you know, or even, you know, Nolatron and his servers that are up, who are clearly, he's got still a fair, probably the most recognized servers out there. But I don't think, here's my thing, and this is, and I guess I'm totally anal when it comes to being in control of the actual dispatching or the operations or anything that where I'm basically, it's up to me to give both myself and the clients an atmosphere to which I have fully prototypical operations. I can't achieve it right now. The only here's the problem. Selkirk Mohawk, we know the issues with the hump. Now, I haven't checked with Scott. Now, Scott is running Selkirk Mohawk, but I think he has probably some kind of restrictions in. He has, and he watches my videos too. I think he has, I'm just going to go over, this is Scott's form. I think I was the, oh, that's neat. Got, oh yeah, that's some of the images and stuff that he's got. I've seen some of these. He's actually emailed some, I believe. So he's got an operation that works well, and the good thing is he's able to find the ability to go in and just have fun with it the way it is and not worry about members. I have a limited amount of time being with work, and one thing I noticed was when I went away, I didn't miss it. I really didn't miss it. I might even pop onto his server right now and probably watch. I don't know if he's watching or not, to be honest. He has in the past, so and he's kept email contact with me as recently as a few weeks ago, or no, a few weeks prior to me going away. So so I posted in the forums, so I encourage anybody to check this out. This is fairly new. So I was the first non-CEO to use, and it's the same system I think that Mike's got set up for California. Nobody's dispatching there tonight, and quite frankly, if nobody's dispatching, that's where I kind of like, well, you know, I could run single player then if nobody's dispatching. I don't mind dispatching. I have no problem dispatching, but I want to be able to, number one, when you look at the various routes, and I should go into pardon me, I'm still getting over this cold. I'm almost there, believe it or not. It's really cool. I want to go through the routes we have currently for Run8. Now, I don't have all the latest stuff, so some of these may be. A-line for me right now is the closest thing that I can think of that has the most potential. I may now I want to clarify something, why I say this has the most potential. The issue, well, not the issue, I guess it is the issue. There's a lot of switching potential here, and with the 24/7 server that is currently being used has a lot of that potential dug in. The problem is when you go 24/7, at least from my perspective, and now this doesn't have to, obviously this does not reflect the opinion of Tom and his server. But what happens is you get a section right up here from, I would say, the Callahan sub. So you get this little section right here where most of the majority of your traffic is going to be. When this route expands, and I touched on this in a YouTube video that I posted last night, when this expands, there's going to be more of a need to dispatch, at least if it's going to run with traffic levels. If it doesn't have traffic levels, to me it's just like version 1, because then the AI isn't at its full potential. And I've thought about that a little bit. I've seen the work that is going on with TSCAT, and quite frankly, I'm envious, jealous. I don't know what it is, but it's just like, wow! All of a sudden, out of nowhere, he came back, and I said this yesterday too, and it's just like, wow! Now all of a sudden, he's going to make a difference. Except he's going payware, which is fine. I'll have to decide at some point whether or not I want to do that. Personally, I don't think I don't know if I ever went with a dispatch or AI. I think I may, but I don't know if I honestly I don't know I don't want to charge for routes or do anything like that. I just want to get the base program working. Now he's got a lot of stuff in it. It's very I mean, it's certainly a very really cool system. I wish the external dispatcher was somehow put into Run8. I don't know why we need external dispatchers, personally. Especially when you're building in on a route that has a prototypical dispatching system for each route. I'd love to see what the prototypical dispatcher board looks like. Not just the vanilla, actually slightly better than vanilla version they have now, which has some new things, but it doesn't have enough, and I'd love to see it. To me, it's kind of here's the issue with the dispatcher boards for me, and I'm going to go into a lot of issues with Run8. I've never been shy to express issues with Run8. First of all, let me say on the positive side, having AI and having version 2 and all that other stuff is the most fun I've ever had in a train simulation. That being said, it's not at its full potential, and it gets lost very easily as soon as things start. It still takes people to run, and that's the thing. And I know some people do it single player. I get it. I really get it that some people are just happy to run single player and happy to line their own routes and happy to run their own AI and do whatever they want, and that's great. If you are happy, that's more power to you. If I'm running something, I want to be part of something that feels as real as it can get. That's why I love Run8, because it's prototypically as real as it can get. I don't want to lose something and I used to hate it back in version 1. It used to kill me that the only thing I could get right was the operations, because I couldn't get enough people on the servers. And now I've got the AI, but I don't have the not the people running the trains. That part's great. Suddenly we don't have, because everybody's just inclined to run single player and do their own things, suddenly it's becoming a single player sim for many people. They've just, and then there's others who just, let's host a server here, let's do this, let's do that. I can't keep up. And it's so I'm just gonna be, okay, fine, I'll be a client, I'll check it out, and if I like it, then that's great. If I'm bored and I don't have enough meets, and if I don't have enough interaction, and just seeing a train flying by, one thing that really got to me on this last train trip, maybe this is relating to it, I'm not too sure, is I wasn't too. I said the other day about the Signal geek yesterday. I said I used to be a big Signal geek. I wasn't that. I don't know. I wasn't that excited about all the train meets. In fact, there was times where I just wanted our train to get going. I didn't want to be sitting there waiting for three trains. I didn't want to be. I didn't worry about what trains we were passing. You know, I'd see the odd Illinois Central unit on CN. I saw a couple BC Rail units on CN. Um, I was more interested in the scenery. Suddenly, it didn't matter what the hell I was running or operating. It's kind of odd that way because now I'm still focused on the operation or trying to be part of a system, but it still takes people. And I've lost that feeling of the taking of the people. Um, so that's just the way I feel. And I thought Florida, doing it small would have been. It didn't matter that it was double track. It didn't matter. There's just so many things that it's just that needs to be fixed. And I'll relook at Florida Selkirk at some point. There's a lot of things in Run 8, like I said, that need to be updated. The ability to spawn trains, the ability to have operations. Maybe I have to go in and do RTS, but if I do that, then what is it going to mean? Does it mean somebody has to sit there and manually spawn trains in all the time? And that's not really what I wanted either, but I'm okay with it. But it's different when you're running a train and you have to manually spawn a train because suddenly you have to back out. You have to stop what you're doing. If you're a dispatcher, it's okay. But if you're running trains and you're trying to manually spawn traffic, right now it's easy to do it with the AI menu. But to try to spawn something that's created as an RTS created, which currently isn't available because I haven't programmed it and I don't know, I don't know if Ski's ever going to get back to programming again. He's been very busy, and I don't know if for all I know, maybe he's lost interest too. I'm not too sure. Obviously, he's very, very busy. And he has other priorities when he does have spare time. So I haven't seen him around for a while. I haven't seen a lot of the guys that were around for a while. I'm not too sure if they're still around. Mike and the bunch, they're still going on their server, so that's good. So I'll check it out and I'll see. And I might float on over to. I'm not going to do this on the live stream. I might float over to Scott and see what he's doing later tonight, and maybe chat some things up, and see what he has to say. He sends me very long messages, and perhaps I need to hear what he's feeling or what he's up to, because he used to be on my servers too, but he wanted to do he had ideas for how he wanted to run, and he's got some very complex, really cool ideas. So perhaps maybe that's exactly what I need, is somebody else to take the ball and I just go run and have some fun every now and then. And I haven't really run New York that much, so maybe that's what I need. I don't know. But so this route has a lot of potential because of the single track nature. Unfortunately, this part of the line, other than Amtrak and intermodal and the switchers and the supply trains, it gets very little traffic. So that's why I wanted to open up these various maps. And if it expands, it becomes more of a it becomes more people need to keep it going. Not only do you have to have the switchers and all that, and if you're running 24/7, you're either running switchers like once a week or once every 2 weeks or something like that. You can't run traffic levels. Well, you can do a lot of things, but it's hard to. I've always envisioned that Run 8 would one day be just like what do you call it, BatSim was for Flight Simulator, where you had everybody coming to a certain place and there was a lot to do. I know Run 8 Depot has a big following. It really doesn't have that big of a following though, and they're the way they do things is very loose. Even on their I've looked into their more prototypical servers. I've been told that basically their prototypical servers are just like what RTS version 1 did. Is what somebody told me once, and I thought, oh, well, that's interesting. I don't want to go back to that. There's more potential here, so it's a little frustrating. You get Cajon sub, and as long as you have traffic levels, then the double tracking can be interesting if you got some locals to run around. Locals really make the traffic patterns interesting. But again, maybe it's something where I need to consider an AI dispatcher. But even if I have an AI dispatcher, it's not going to have. I'm not going to have an AI humper. I'm not going to have. I don't have these things that are able to just be able to sort through trains and do all kinds of magical things. Although, in theory, I could potentially, if I could get an AI dispatcher to work, then in theory I might be able to do something. But I don't think I have a way of automatically telling the program to spawn something. If that was the case, then you could have a continuous 24/7 server, have the traffic levels, make sure you have a dispatcher on board, and everything would be fine. It's just not the case right now. You don't have that. That's why I'm kind of looking at something smaller, because something smaller, then you're not worried about the traffic levels because you're actually dealing with something that's smaller, that's part of an operation, and then bringing in AI, you're focusing on just running the railroad. You can do a single player thing. Maybe you try out one route, and then personally, here's what I think. I think Run8 would be much more successful if they go to this approach because everybody's going single player anyways. So have it so that people, what makes MSTS so appealing is the amount of routes you can get, the amount of stock you can get. People are thirsty for that, big time for this. People are not thirsty for the big servers, I don't think. If they were, the servers would be going through the roof right now. They're not. Not that I can see. So that's where the frustrating part comes. And I'm sure there's sales. I'm sure they're doing fine. I just think they could do a lot more. But for me, like, now it's like, okay, well, is this really for me? I'm not sure anymore. What else do we got here? Cajon. And then we got, Mohawk, which was my latest check of things. Now, there's some fun switching. It was cool to be able to switch and see trains go by. But again, just seeing the trains go by, it's not about the eye candy of seeing the trains go by. It's about being part of the system, being either having somebody who's a thorn in your side up ahead that you have to run around, and an intelligent dispatcher who's running you around or holding you off or doing other things, and then being able to just hand it off to an AI to be able to control the train and run it. It has all the it has all the potential. It just doesn't have the infrastructure in place. There's no real good infrastructure that's in place to support such huge networks. Not that I can see. And you can say, well, we just had one huge server basically shut down for good. Whether or not I've had issues or not with that particular server is irrelevant. It's because nobody was there. And people could have gone there. They would. Who cares about what? But people didn't. And he had a lot of investment in. I don't know how much he had for version 2, to be quite honest. I honestly don't know what he had for version 2. But if he did put that investment in, then what did he get out of it in the end? Well, I don't know. I'm fine with what I have. I'm gonna be hopefully enjoying it as a client. for now. Hopefully enjoy it, you know, take things in. You know, I don't know what else to really say about this, unfortunately. There's not really much more to say. I wish there was. I wish I had an explanation. I wish I had something that I can go for here. But, you know, I could be on, and I don't want to go onto somebody's server for the first time, and I want to make sure somebody, I was going to go on Scott's server right now. I don't know what he's running for dispatching or whatever, and just being able to chat with him or whatever would probably be the best course of action for me right now. And then I'll show you the, let me just refresh this here, Scott's forum. Let's see. Yeah, so that was 27 minutes ago. Wow, it hasn't been that long. Well, this might be a real short one tonight, but I don't see, you know, I'm just beating a dead horse at the moment. July 11th, there was 5 users online. Who are the 5 users? Because nobody has posted. Got calendars, but I don't think he's got anything set up. Now, I know Mike is dispatching tomorrow night. I'm actually going to run later tomorrow night after I guess after I drop off my son. I got my son till, was it 8 o'clock? I guess it's 8 o'clock. It's been a while. I got to get back into the team again. Sure. So I'll be back at 8:30, which is later than what they start, but go on for a little bit and see how it goes. Maybe they start at 8:30. Maybe I should check that out. That's Scott's. Okay, let me get out of there for a minute. Not gonna spend too much more time. I wanna become productive in some way tonight. At this point, I don't see anything happening here. And yeah, this is where I found Scott's server, so this is good. I mean, there's a lot of people that I love this, and people are posting. This server was on at 11 o'clock this morning, and there looked like to be about 2 people that, like, here you got all these positions, and people take the time to put all this stuff in, and 2 people came in. And that's not a knock against the server. It's sad because there's people that are willing to put the time in. I'm willing to put the time in too. I was getting tired of putting the time in and get a little return for my efforts. And so, like I said, this is not sour grapes here. Damn. Excuse me while I hack off a lung. All right. So I'm losing my voice again, apparently. I'm just trying to think. California Western was the one that hosted it, and they run Selkirk and Mohawk too. I don't see a password. I don't know how long they're going. They were just added. Well, that's gonna load up something. Ooh. It looks like they're just starting out, so so those people are starting out. Doesn't really say too much more about it. It said something about them being really realistic servers or something, or, well, whatever. I don't know. Dang it. Stop coughing. Yeah. A lot of these names I don't know. I'm not on the big forums anymore, so perhaps I'm losing out on that. But anyways, no, that's all I'm going to do for tonight as far as live stream, or at least this particular I'm gonna check things out. I will return a live stream probably tomorrow, and I'll check to see what Mike is up to. Hopefully he'll reply tonight, or when one of the guys will reply, because I'm curious what they're doing. Because they have expanded. He went out and he bought a copy for the server. He bought a copy for the client. That's quite a bit of investment these guys are putting into, and I guess maybe I'm more sensitive about. You know, I haven't even bought the latest Wellcar pack, and it's more or less because I'm not too sure how much more I'm going to be doing Run 8. If being a client back on Mike's server in his new home works, then I may just do that. Maybe I'll if they need a dispatcher, maybe I'll do that too. I don't know if they do or not. I'll see. It's worth a shot, but I could certainly dispatch other sections and see how it goes. But if it's just a matter of dispatching AI traffic, then I don't know about that. But you know, we'll see. I'll have to take a look. I need the time away to really think about things. The RTS software, I'm sure it could be easy to go in, but I don't think it solves all the issues, and in the end, I don't know if it's going to make much of a difference other than those that really could use it, which is kind of minimal at this point, because there's not too many people who would use it, I don't think. At least from my perspective, I've only know at least a few people that would be inclined to use it. So for me, the amount of effort that I would have to put into it for far little returns, it's just like hosting the service, really, at this point. I would much rather run with my son if he's interested in doing it, and I would even consider buying copies of various routes so that he could dispatch from his computer if and only if he is truly interested, because I don't know if he is or not. I gotta find that out. And I haven't found a server that runs on the weekends right now who's got traffic, who has dispatchers, other than the big boys who I'm not a part of. But I got to see if he's really into that or not, because I don't think he is either. So for me, it's more of an investment in the potential, but we'll see where it goes. I would love to be able to create routes for this. I'd love to be able to create content, you know, not activities, but operations, whatever. There's all kinds of things. So anyways, I'm rambling again, so I'm going to stop this for now. And I'll probably head over to Scott's server in a little bit here, so see what he's up to if his server's up. Anyways, that's all for now. So have a good one. I'll probably be back maybe tomorrow night, and I'll put a different screen on there to talk about Mike's server or something like that, and see what running in the stand is like, because I haven't done that in a long time. I haven't run California in a long time, so hopefully that'll be some fun. Anyways, that's all for now. We'll see ya.